Hi, I'm Deanna Marr. I'm an occupational therapist and I'm specializing in pelvic floor therapy for women and men. My passion is to help women take care of themselves as they age.
Thank you again for coming. I've not been through menopause. I'm far from knowing first person experience. I think that's the key aspect of understanding an experience, right? Because I can only say what somebody has told me, what I have seen, what I have read, but it's not the same. But like, for example, with postpartum, I can't with my gut say how it feels because I've been through it. Why should I even start? What should I know? Like, what would you say are the basics?
Good question. You're at a good age to start asking these questions because perimenopause starts a lot of times earlier than we think, where the average age of someone transitioning to menopause is around 51. You can start having symptoms when your estrogen starts declining, and you can start seeing those changes like in your mid to early 30s. So everybody's symptoms might be different that they first notice or how your body is going through those changes. Now I'm 47. I'm kind of in that perimenopause time. I started reading this book called The New Rules of Menopause. And it's been kind of eye-opening and it really tells you that the symptoms and what to look for. One of the symptoms that I had pretty young, my last child I had when I was 30, was I stopped being able to wear my contacts because my eyes were just so dry. It did not matter what kind of like eye drops I did or whatever. I just stopped having tolerance to wearing my contacts. I wear my glasses a lot more now. In the book, one of the symptoms that could be for in that perimenopause time were dry eyes. I was just like, what? Everybody's symptoms different, it's all depending on your estrogen and when that starts to decline, what type of different symptoms you might have. It may not just be hot flashes but brain fog is a symptom. Fatigue is a symptom that you can have. Irritability and mood swings. If you feel like you are going crazy, because that's what they kind of say, like you're losing your mind, chances are you probably are in that perimenopausal time. And chances are you might be having some of those feelings yourself.
Yeah, that was hard for me to know because I have always been kind of my only consistency is inconsistency. So I always struggle with keeping a flowing mood. That was like a long time of learning how to flow through those rather than feel completely taken by extremes. I feel like simply recognizing I'm just feeling this way because of this or whatever, being able to anchor it to something rather than being taken by the emotions. So for me, that it will be hard to know. That's the thing, right? Like I haven't been through it yet, so I can only guess and assume, but you don't know until you're there.
Hmm.
How do you take care of your health throughout your lifespan? Not just perimenopause, but I'm guessing there's a lot of stuff I could be doing now. My second question was, how do you balance letting the natural course of life be versus medical intervention? How do you balance those two?
A lot of research and a lot of stuff that's coming out now. I was not a good student of until recently. There's like basically like four pillars that you really need to look at, expect for your health by the time you're 30, 35. These are the things that you want to look at, not just for perimenopause, menopause, but even postmenopausal. We're talking like what will help you into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, because we want to have healthy aging and we want to protect ourselves. We want to look at our nutrition, our sleep, our stress management, and our exercise are the four that are very important. So, for our nutrition standpoint, as we age, and part of perimenopause is like insulin resistance. If we're taking in too much carbs and sugars, things like that, it really has an impact on how our body goes through perimenopause. They're linking it to increase risk for Alzheimer's and stuff. stress management. If we're in that fight or flight, like high, like anxiety state for a lot of time, that affects our hormones and our sleep habits, our nutrition and eating. It all connects to each other. If we're not getting good sleep, which we don't heading into this time of our lives, it affects our mood behavior. It affects our eating habits. It affects our hormones. Making sure that we're trying to prioritize our sleep 7 or 8 hours, whatever it's for you. Not everybody has to be on that 7 and 8 hour window of sleep, because everybody's a little different, but making sure that we're getting rest because it's good for our brain health. And then making sure, especially for women, if there's been, I guess, a stigma about women and weightlifting, but women should be weightlifting. It is so important, especially by the time you're 35, to start lifting weights and lift heavy if you can. I mean, you're not going to be bulked up and a power lifter, but it's so important. Lifting weights helps to build our muscle mass and our bone density, which we so need going through to that perimenopause and onward into our 60s, 80s. If we have good muscle mass, if we have good bone density, then it's going to reduce our risk for falls. It's going to reduce our risk for fractures and osteoporosis as we age. We need that as women. If we're not weightlifting, by the time you're hitting 40, you're going to start losing your muscle mass as you age. That's going to play a role in like metabolizing your food. How many calories do you need taking in, which you're expending out, all plays a role in our health as we age and are going through this time in our life. For me, I didn't think that you could lose weight once you hit this perimenopausal time. I gained a lot of weight, about 20 something pounds. It didn't matter how much I exercised and whatever, I was stuck, and I felt like I was just going to keep gaining because that was the time of my life. But I wasn't managing my stress well. I was having problems with sleeping at the time. My diet was like stress eating, like eating whatever. I didn't have control over myself, and it was just, I was in a bad place. But I started working with someone to take control of my health. And since I have done that, been able to lose 23 pounds. I am sleeping better. My anxiety and my brain fog and my irritability towards my husband and children and all of that comes down the pike. And, my mental health and towards myself has improved. It's just important. Like I can say it because I've lived it. It's not just like, reading a book and knowing your book knowledge, but I think it's a little different when you can speak to other people and tell them, like, hey, I've been there, I've gone through it, or I'm going through it, and like this helps. So it can help somebody, else that might think that they're the only one. Or if we learn about it and we talk about it, because that's another thing, we don't talk about it. And we don't learn these things when we're younger. Here I am passing the torch and helping you and the people behind me. If we can do that and then teach our daughters as they grow, and when they're younger, they'll have a better life ahead of them as well.
I don't know if that was only true for me or if a lot of people would identify with, but when I hear most of these talks, it's almost like fear mongering. It's just, these are all the reasons why it is horrible. But there's no continuation on this is how you take care of yourself. What you should be eating, paying attention to this, what to expect. But if you're feeling this, then that's not normal. How do you know when things are just be expected? If we could talk a little bit of what are common symptoms, I'm guessing there's a few that are easy fix to get maybe more comfortable versus, well, now you do need some medical assistance. This is not okay. This is not part of the normal course of symptoms.
Some people will have easier road or journey through menopause than others. I think it just depends, and it's our body's reaction to the lack of estrogen. So some people don't have a very hard time and not very many symptoms. And then other people have more. Right now, I haven't had really a lot of like hot flashes or anything because I'm always cold. But like the mood swings, the insomnia, the fatigue, I've had those. There are different things out there that people can use. There are like more holistic products out there that you can use, like herbal remedies, things like that. You've probably seen them over, on social media. They'll have like minnow support or minnow belly, things like that. Those products aren't usually regulated. You don't know what the type of product you're getting or the dosage of it because most holistic products are not regulated by the FDA. But some people find them helpful for their symptoms, like their hot flashes or irritability, or to help them lose weight going through menopause. If you look at the research, it really shows that it does not really work. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. It's not observational data. It's not supported that it's a good fix for everyone and that it really treats what it says it's treating. But some people take it and they do have, good results. Talk to your doctor, make sure it's safe if you're on any medications based on your health. Try it and see if it helps you. So medically, you can be treated with hormone replacement therapy is one way that they help women going through this. Also use of like estrogen creams for the vaginal and vulvar area to help with changes, vaginal atrophy, dryness, things that happen down in our vaginal area as we age with the decreased estrogen that we're producing. They can use other medications like antidepressants and certain medications that are used for nerve pain and stuff, like gabapentin for some of the menopausal symptoms that might occur. So along with that, if you're looking at changing your diet and your sleep, if you're getting back to the basics, that can help flip the switch on.
What would you say are the most asked questions or most common reason people go to you or conversations?
A lot of questions or what you might see would be the vaginal dryness and having pain with intercourse due to the changes of lack of estrogen, making sure that they are talking to their doctors to see if they can start using estradiol cream to help support the symptoms of menopause. Those symptoms are real and we get decreased estrogen and we're having vaginal dryness and maybe even vaginal atrophy as we age. It can cause increased risk for UTIs as well, more than just local to the vagina. It also can affect others with bladder infections, urinary tract infections. So making sure we're advocating for ourselves. Back in the day, hormone replacement therapy got a bad rap and a black label box because of the increased risk of breast cancer. But through more research and stuff that they've done recently, it's been found to be safe to use for most people, as long as you don't have active cancer. I think they're changing the name now to menopause hormone replacement therapy. The use of the local estrogen creams can make a big difference. You want to be sexually active as you age. It's important. If you don't maintain your sexual function, you're going to have some more problems later on with changes in your vulvar and vaginal area. For instance, people that might have had a spouse or in a relationship and then for whatever reason, either death or divorce, they don't have a partner. Let's say it's 10 years or so. Well, they may have difficulty with that later on in life because of the lack of estrogen and stuff. And you can have vaginal atrophy. That means, the vaginal walls, the tissues kind of, I'm going to use the word shrink for a lack of a better term. But basically, there's changes in the skin and the tissues that the vagina is made out of. It could make penetration very painful and difficult. There are other conditions that you have. It's just important to know your anatomy. Look down there, know what it kind of looks like. We don't spend a lot of time like checking that area out. And speak up to your doctor, like as you're aging. Hey, I'm having more itchy burning for no reason. I'm having dryness. Sex is not comfortable anymore. Talking to your physician about that early on when you're having intercourse, using a vaginal moisturizer to help your tissue integrity as you age. Those are really important. If we're not speaking up and letting our physicians know, then they can't recommend products and stuff that can help us. So you want the blood flow and stuff to go down to the tissues. So if you're having like an active sex life with your partner, and continue to do it for as long as you can. But if you don't have a partner or you're not having it as frequent as you would like, using a vibrator is a good tool, or your hand, whatever, to do self pleasures to get that blood flow to that area so you can keep those tissues as healthy as possible. I am working on an ebook to give people some resources about perimenopause and their health and like how to navigate this time. I'm also working on a course that people could use for if they're having any problems with leakage with activity. A lot of people this time, because of estrogen, they start having more problems with like stress incontinence or urge incontinence. I'm working on a course for people that might not want to come in for pelvic floor therapy, but they want to resolve some of those issues. Thank you. I appreciate you having me here and talking about it. It's so important because I've been gaslighted by medical providers and just listening to other people experience. Not all medical professionals like OBGYNs, urogynecologists and stuff, they have their own biases, and not everybody is going to be up on the latest medical advice. Women need support and help through this. I thought I was going crazy and I was like losing it. I didn't know. There was nobody telling me in my circle of friends or family, like, you're probably perimenopausal. I love what you're doing and trying to get women educated on themselves, their bodies, helping with their relationships. I think that it's great, and I think we need more of it out in the community.